Okay, so I've put this little wash down and then used some grease in some raw sienna, and I've got permanent rose in there. The grey I've used Phthalo Blue Red shade and Mars Violet. But you can use any shade of warm grey, ultramarine blue and a bright red, or mix your purples and yellows, get yourself a grey, and just melt all the colours there together to produce this soft effect. Because I thought I had the camera rolling for you, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. So I'm just blocking in the foreground a little bit now and leaving that top part of the painting to dry. I just want to put in some foreground here. Very random. Just enjoy your watercolour and just slice the colours into each other and let them melt together there. Give you something fairly soft. This is halfway dry. I don't want to use too much water. I can just add a few more little trees in here to give me some soft, distant shapes there. Of course, as this dries out, shapes take on more definition. Just have to be careful not to have your brush too wet, because you will produce little starbursts and things in there as well. Just adding in some little tree trunks, some branches, in this soft misty background, working wet onto wet. Using thicker paint, so more pigment, which will give you stronger colours, and those stronger colours will then bring things more into the foreground. It's still wet, it's still moving. I may have to resort to leaving the picture to dry for a little while. Just kind of making it up a little bit. But you can see there how the stronger colour is coming forward in the picture here a little bit. We just put a little bit of a ground line down here. Let that melt up. If that goes into some little backgrounds, it might actually produce a nice effect for some little grasses there. Some bushes, things. Quite like the way that's spidering up the page. This is spidering a little bit too much for my liking, so I may have to just now back off and let it dry. Alright, I'm going to let that dry off now and just wait and see. Okay, so I've dried this off, so now I can put in some foreground trees, and I'll just bring up my little picture that I'm working from for an idea. So, let me see. Just using the same colours but working on a dry paper now, so everything's going to seem that little bit stronger. Paint over what I've got here. Just painting some trees. Same colour mix. So as always when I'm painting my trees, I go back into an existing branch, match up the pressure, and then pull out a new branch. I will switch to my rigger in a moment. I'm using here as a number 8 round brush just to get these tree trunks in here. So you see how that immediately brings that tree much further forward in the picture. Working on drier paper with a stronger pigment. Don't forget when you're painting trees that branches do crisscross over each other sometimes. Don't have to have their own space all the time. Switch my brush to my rigger. Adding a little bit more water to this mix. And I'll go back to my distant trees. And add a few more branches into those. Work my way back through all those. more watery paint. It's going to give you those lovely distant trees. Just let that dry off a second. Soften off just a little bit. A bit of water on there. Little bits of tweaks and things. Just using the belly of this brush to put down a few little twiggy bits. If you're not too sure whether you've got the right amount of paint on your brush, load your brush up. Much more water goes in. I'm just going to load my brush. Tap it off on a bit of scrap paper. Make sure you haven't got too much paint on the surface. And then just use the belly of the brush to catch the surface of the paper. Give the impression of bits of leaf. I like to have the tip pointing out over, so I've just switched hands. That's a nice little exercise for you to play with. Working wet to wet, leaving all the background colours in, and the foreground colours have all melted in together there. Working wet into your surface, so you have to have all your paints all ready to go so that you have these colours all ready to go on your paper. And then it doesn't take very long. That's it. Don't think we need anything else in this picture. Maybe just a bit of grass. Brush up. Still. So maybe you'd like to try that one yourselves. I'm just going to put an extra couple of branches on this foreground tree. Don't particularly like what I've got here, so I'm just going to add to that. quite weak, that branch. I'm just going to put a bit more thickness to that. So used to working upright while teaching, I can quite grasp painting, laying fairly flat, sitting about a 45-degree angle here. Which is not my usual position, so looking better. Let's have some other branches going in different directions. Good practice for washes, good practice for painting trees. Just use these exercises to do exactly that. Just practice different things. Play with your paint. Build confidence. Let me see, where else do we need a branch? Looking at my screen here so I can see what I'm doing. I want a bit stronger. What I'm saying. Bringing some of the branches off the middle of the tree as well, rather than having them all stuck on the edge. Okay, I'm going to lay it there now. I'm going to go off and make myself some in tweaks.